Welcome everybody to the Gangstagrass show. Yeah. Here we are, your host for tonight. Gangsta to the Grass. Coming to you live once again on a Friday night to hang out with us. Coming to you on Twitch, on Facebook, on YouTube.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what? I don't know what you guys like to do on Fridays, but usually on a good Friday, probably every other 2 weeks, I go to a bar, and none of those are open right now. And the one that is open,
they are not.
So guess what? Oh, right. I'm wearing underwear tonight, folks. Sorry.
You're good. That's what I like to hear.
Are not.
You said I'm not sorry?
Underwear aren't open, and that's what's important.
Yeah.
It's not Tuesday yet, so we are still number one.
Oh yeah, Gangstagrass has the #1 bluegrass album in the country now. First,
so I just did a proposal for some money. Anyways, details on that another time if I get it. But I just did a proposal, and the thing that I got to put at the end of my bio is, as of September 25th, also in Gangstagrass, the #1 album that has the #1 album on the bluegrass Billboard charts with No Time for Enemies, which is funny.
It's pretty exciting.
It's funny because it's true.
Yes.
So I'm doing this all the time now. I'm just trying to bring this into,
trying to make John Cena happen.
Trying to make sure that John Cena knows that we're aware of him.
So he can host the time that we're on Saturday Night Live.
Yes. That is exactly why I do that all the time.
If you're gonna do that
live, doing it.
If you're gonna do that, I'm gonna start voguing just to make sure it's okay for all straight guys to vogue. It's all right.
It's okay. We're gonna normalize that like hell. It's gonna be so normalized.
It came out.
People are gonna think it's weird for straight guys to not vote. We're gonna get that so normalized.
I really wanted to date him, but he didn't vogue at all, so I guess I wasn't interested.
That's how it's gonna go. Yeah.
I keep coming in on the wrong part of the conversation.
Every song.
Yeah. Yeah. So not only are we the #1 bluegrass album in the country, that means first #1 bluegrass album from a band with rappers. Breaking that barrier.
Yo, I think we should do a party at the Station Inn since we broke that barrier too.
Yeah.
I think we should just wreck the whole thing. I'm kicking in your genre doors, baby.
They won't invite us back if we do that.
I mean, no, but here's what I'm saying though. Like, it should be like the most amazing party in the world, but nothing will get destroyed. But I think we should spiritually wreck it. Like,
yeah.
Like
metaphorical doors only get kicked in.
But like I want Lisi T there, so we have our DJ. I want a cipher in the middle of the crowd. Like I want it to be so hip hop that people are like, I don't know what's happening here. Why? I'm scared. Like
we should invite like all the Nashville MCs out. Have them freestyle. Yeah.
We should get Young Buck in the house. He would just demolish the spot.
Yo, it's T.I.'s around there, right?
No, he's from Atlanta.
Few hours away.
But did he move? Didn't he move around the Tennessee area?
I mean, he's performed in Tennessee. Yes.
We have somebody who used to live in Tennessee in the Twitch chat. In a crew is down.
Yeah.
I will bring my own if need be. I don't even care.
Somebody knew that in the chat. Congratulations, chat people. You have thoroughly impressed me.
I think it's not politically correct to call them chat people.
Chat people. Chat folk. The people of chat. Chatland.
I'm sorry. I just grew up saying chat people a lot. I apologize. I'm trying to normalize chat folks.
Speaking of chat, folks, listen, while you're on the chat, I need y'all to open up another tab, right? And I need you to go to sohh.com.
That's right.
It's a website. It's supportonlinehiphop.com. They have a thing called Hate It or Love It. And I need you guys to throw some love on the video for Ride With You. I know you already love it because it's got a lot of views. So, yeah, do that right now. And then come back to us. Or, stay with us while you do it.
Is there another thing we can give them to get to it? Because sohh.com is not going quite to it.
soh.com/hate it or love it.
Is that working?
No.
Hate dash it dash.
Oh, I misspelled it.
Dash it dash or dash love.
Okay, we gotta put dashes in between the words. So
actually, you know what? Here, I'll put it on the various chats. Hold on a second.
Yeah. Can you guys hear me chewing? I don't want to.
Yeah, you've got to not be doing that. But
I'm so sorry, everybody in the chat. My bad.
Right? Seriously.
Manny Faces in the joint. What's up, guys?
Yeah, Manny Faces. What's happening?
All right, it's up in the Facebook, John. Hold on now. We're going to put it in.
All right, so this is something that people are voting on, and we need everybody to get out there and vote love it for the Ride With You video. The link is in the chat.
It's on that one, and now it's on that one.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're going to go to the Twitch, John, and slap it on there, too, because everybody deserves a chance to vote.
Yeah.
And unlike regular voting, you can vote as many times as you want, I think.
There you go.
I don't, I hate to be the one to bring up the political thing, but,
do it.
Did he really just say he's considering not giving up the presidency? Like, what, bitch?
He's been saying that for months.
He's going crazy on that one, man. He is he's off the hook.
And we need to hold fast to our rights and founding principles and look to George Washington, who, when, offered a kingship, said, nah, man, that's the thing we just tried to not have. We're not going to do that. And,
all of those guys did not want to be remembered in any sort of monarchical way. They did not want their legacies to be the way we have created them.
And remember, up until FDR, that was a choice that the presidents were making, not to serve more than 2 terms, because that was the precedent that had been established. And then FDR did 4 terms and, did a good job and everything. But even still, people were like, yeah, no, we can't have that again. He
had to die for him to be like, nah.
And they just, and to make a constitutional amendment is no small thing. And we as a nation made a constitutional amendment to make 2 terms the limit. Period. So, no, we're not going back on that, and we need to make sure that we stand up as a people and say absolutely not.
Yeah.
And that's just if he tries to go for 3 terms. I mean, if we're talking about an election that is decided in one way and, someone attempts to retain power, then we have to look to, for example, our military to honor the elected commander-in-chief and not a tyrant who tries to stay in the White House without the consent of the governed.
What does it say about the watering the tree of liberty?
What does it say?
It says curb your dog.
Yeah.
The blood of patriots.
Please stop pissing on the tree of liberty.
And tyrants.
Yeah. But over here on the Facebook, we got Linda in the chat. We got Suze in the chat. What's up, Suze?
Hey, Suze.
We got Michelle, who's been riding with us for a long time.
I see Jay's in the house, Silent Night.
Yeah.
Yo, what's up, man?
You got Parrish over on the Twitch.
Band called Fuse.
As we mentioned, Manny Faces is in the house.
Mm-hmm.
James over in Scotland. is tuning in.
Yo, what's up, James?
Everybody, just make sure to go to that link that we just posted in the chat to vote for Ride With You as Love It.
By the way, James, since you're in Scotland, make sure, where in Scotland are you? I tell everybody that I know that's in Scotland to go to Frizzante's.
In Edinburgh.
See our dear friend Johnny. Yo, did you see the John? Johnny and his dad did a Coca-Cola ad.
Yes.
What?
It's all over the place, man. It's all over Europe. I love it.
Awesome.
Really? That's beautiful.
Yeah, dude. I love it so much. Him and his dad are like the cutest dudes in the world. I love it. Absolutely fantastic. Shout out to Johnny.
Yeah, I didn't know they were selling Coke like that. You should have let me know last time.
Yo.
Moving mad weight.
Mostly they carry Pepsi products, but
every now and again, gotta slap that.
No, I'm just playing Johnny. I'm playing Johnny again. I know Coca-Cola all the way, right? I'm an RC Cola guy myself.
Johnny's a pretty energetic guy just normally as it is, so I don't think we need to add anything in there.
Oh, James is in Edinburgh.
Hey.
Oh, nice. Go by Frizzante's. Tell him the Gangstagrass sent you.
And Eli Lev is in the house. Thank you
nice.
for the congratulations.
What's up, Eli Lev?
Yo, what up, man?
Yeah, Super Day
what's up,
420
man?
is back.
Oh, Super Day 420.
Are you high tonight, Super Day 420? Probably.
Let me get to the YouTube.
Yo, Super Dave, look at this cake, buddy. This is for you and me, Super Dave. I know what it is.
Yo, y'all want to see something wild?
Yes.
I don't know if you're gonna be able to read this. That says.
What? What?
And those are for who?
Those are for me.
Ah.
What?
A friend of mine is running this company, and apparently I won some. She was like, "Hey, here."
Oh.
What you gonna do with that?
I don't know. Eat them, I guess. They're vitamins.
That's all it is.
Vitamin G.
Enjoy them, man. Enjoy them.
That's what I hear.
It's just CBD. It's just if his back starts to hurt, they might help a little bit.
Oh, I'm not sure if you've ever taken CBD, but taking CBD for the first time was wonderful. I felt so relaxed and took a very good nap.
I will say there are risks. We gave my dog CBD for, like, it was dog CBD, but whatever, like dog treat CBD for his pain as he was nearing the end of his life, and he got so paranoid. And I mean, this is kind of a high-strung dog to begin with, so this is probably not applicable, but just FYI, paranoia is actually a potential outcome of the CBD.
I have.
Oh. I will keep that in mind.
You'd be like mad relaxed, but you're like, why am I so relaxed?
Right.
Paranoid about how relaxed you are.
Right.
I'm so relaxed, man.
Everyone's gonna know I'm relaxed.
Why are you looking at me?
Yes.
I'm just over here chilling.
They know.
I totally want that to happen now. That's exactly what I want to happen right now.
Mm-hmm.
Hello.
You just be sitting there like, I am a good boy.
Is that Ice Grill?
I'm a good boy.
Here.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Yeah, Sue's Americana Fest was super fun.
Oh yeah, that was awesome. We broke some barriers and brought the house down.
Right.
At the high watts.
Broke some barriers, bursted some walls. I mean, like definitely good. The fire marshal did not show up at any of those showcases.
I want to put a special shout out to the Hackensaw boys who played before us. I played with the Hackensaw boys, cutting my teeth early on, and it was good to see David. He's got a whole new crew in the band, but they're really great, and they're you know, if you haven't checked them out, check out Hackensaw Boys. They're a good ragtag bunch of folks. They came up alongside Old Crow Medicine Show, but didn't get as much of the fame that Old Crow got. But they're great.
Yeah, for sure. Hackensaw Boys in the house.
Here. All right. Shaun of the Data
Amethyst
voted. Nice, Shaun of the Data. Good stuff.
What about Amethyst?
No, Suze was telling Linda about Amethyst and Rhiannon and the squad.
Now that was a set. The Amethyst Kia set at Americana Fest at the Station Inn was one for the history books.
They marked that so hard.
And we saw her again when she came to Philly. Me and the missus went to go catch it, and again brought the house down. She's quite the performer.
Yeah, man.
That's the one thing that we haven't done that I really want to do. I still want to get that remix in, dude.
Here's my thought: is that we do like a cross, like a single and a B-side or whatever that goes in opposite directions. So one is us jumping on her track, because we definitely want to do a remake of Black Myself, and then one with her doing Freedom.
Yes. Hell yeah.
Yes.
That's awesome. That's a great idea.
Yeah.
Word.
Yeah. Shout to her about that.
Yeah. Yeah, because she was down for it, but we kind of ran out of time when we were making the album, and everything was kind of chaotic early on with all the lockdown and stuff. So she didn't have access to jump on and record right away, and we had to get that album done. So we weren't able to get her on it for the album, but she's down to do it. So at some point, we're gonna make it happen.
Yeah,
I'll tell you guys about
been a fan of her since Rhythm and Roots.
Mm-hmm.
First time I got to meet that lady, we were doing something for us. Actually, first time I met you guys at Kingman Island Bluegrass Festival, and we were doing the rehearsals beforehand because me and a guy named Tadiq Muhammad, shout outs to Tadiq, who's in the DC area, great teacher, great drummer, percussionist, and Don Flemings were going to be her backup group, and she, like, there's this big old booming voice that just sounded like this big old handsome man coming up the stairs, and it's her. It's Amethyst Kia, and I'm just like, yo, man, I can't wait to hear her sing, and she fills up the space with that voice anywhere. And I lied, I did meet her a time before that. I saw her perform.
Right. It was a good lie. It was a good one.
Blasphemer.
So many lies, man. Can't take it. It's too much lying.
Too much lining? White lining? There's a cover that we're working on that I'm referencing.
I see what you did there.
Yes.
But Tish, whoops, that didn't work.
Maybe some folks that don't know, and might be wondering, no, we did not fire our banjo player. Our dear friend Dan
quit.
No. our
Eaten by hyenas.
Yeah.
He said, number one, bitches, I'm out.
Yeah, our dear friend Dan
Dingo ate our banjo player.
Oh, jinx. Dingo ate my banjo player. Yes.
Yeah, Danjo is now Dad Joe.
Yes.
Yes.
So he is spending some time with the new youngin.
So congratulations to Dan Whitener.
Congratulations, Dan.
So it's a big week for him.
Yeah.
Number one.
They actually had a banjo. She gave birth to a banjo.
He needed one more. Yeah.
That's not what happened.
Yeah, Banjo is a legitimate first name for anybody who's thinking about having a child, or a first child, or a second, or an eighth child. Banjo is a great name for an eighth child. I'm going to say that right now.
What he's saying is that Banjo is a good name for a child you want to disown you as a parent.
Aww.
Don't worry. If you name your kid Banjo,
if you want your child to write songs about you, name him Banjo.
Name him Banjo.
if you want your kid to leave at 15, name him Banjo.
Especially if all the rest of them have just names.
Regular names.
Like, yeah, my
regular
son Philip. It's his sister Carla. This is Daniel. That's Craig. That's his twin brother Greg. And then that's Kathleen. And that's Joe. And this is Banjo.
I did meet a woman named Amanda Lynn.
Tricky one.
Yeah, and her dad was legitimately a mandolin player, although swore that it wasn't intentional.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure it wasn't.
Right.
See, that's where dad jokes go wrong.
There's weird O in her name. Like, wait, what?
Amanda.
O and shut your mouth. Don't judge my spellings.
Right.
Mandolin.
It's like Amando is not a real name. Maybe he was just a big fan of Mandalorians.
I think the name Mando definitely has some appeal in the way that that Banjo or Danjo have appeal.
Yeah, Mando kind of
Mando's
works,
cool.
but it's got to be short for Mandalorian.
Right.
But wait.
I guarantee.
Could it be
there's a
Mando
kid right now
Calrissian?
somewhere- There's a kid right now somewhere in America named Mandalorian. I will bet
No doubt.
every pair of sneakers I got on that.
No
You
doubt.
know what's funny is that Mando is actually not short for Mandalorian. It's short for Mandawate,
Or that.
which is what Mandalorians call themselves.
But yeah, see, a lot of people aren't that deep into it. Like that guy, his son Mandawate, he knows that. But the
Right.
other guy that just liked Baby Yoda was like, I can't name my son Baby Yoda because that's not even his name. We're gonna call him Mandalorian. And
Wait.
What if
It turns out a Mandalorian's dad actually wasn't into Star Wars, but he owned a DeLorean dealership.
Right, but if you did want to name your kid after Baby Yoda, you just name your kid the Child.
The child.
yes,
Is anybody
what-
watching Lower Decks? The dog.
Oh,
no, but Kennedy swears by that show. It's amazing.
It's so good.
yeah,
It is
I gotta get on that.
So
I heard it's
good. I
lots
mean,
and lots of fun.
I'm sorry, but the combination of Star Trek and Rick and Morty, perfection.
Oh, I haven't
That's
seen it.
perfection.
What is it? What is it up here on?
CBS All Access.
Ah,
But if you guys want, I'll do viewing parties over Zoom, and we can just you can watch mine. You don't even have to pay
all
for
right,
it. You
yeah,
can
we
watch it
do
with
that.
me.
yeah.
I can do that. But
By
real quick,
the way-
shout out to another Star Trek thing, The Redcoats by John Scalzi.
Oh, yeah, I read that. That's a good one.
Scalzi, another Joko
Hilarious.
Cruiser.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right.
Really?
Yeah,
It's,
yeah.
Why the fuck haven't we been on that cruise yet?
Ah,
I just finished his latest book.
there's a musician in Nashville named Mando Sainz. I'm pretty certain that's probably short for Armando.
One last thing on Mando. What if she grows up and has a sex change and her name is perfect? Mando? It's Mando.
All right, see you guys later.
yeah.
Bye. Thanks, everybody.
We'll be editing this later, so tune in for the redacted version. I want to
That was
ask anybody out there on Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, anybody with any connection to Ed Helms, hook us up. We got to reach Ed Helms and ask him about the new show that they're working on with Michael Schur, who did The Good Place and Community and whatnot. Show called Rutherford Falls. Ed Helms is going to be on it, and I think it's going to be a very cool show, and we want to do something for it. So if anybody out there has any connections to reach Ed Helms,
Or anyone on that show,
hook a
right?
band up.
Would
Yeah,
work.
I don't know who else is on that show, so that's what we know so far.
Yes, I would love that.
Super Dave wants algorithms.
Mm-hmm.
We could probably touch on some of that a little later.
Yeah, absolutely. We can talk about the Fibonacci sequence all day long.
You know, funny, the first time I was introduced to the Fibonacci sequence was, I think I was in the 3rd grade. And it was on, what was this show called? Square One TV.
Sounds square.
And there was a detective show called The Bloodhound Gang.
Oh yeah. Well, wasn't that on the Electric Company?
Was that Electric Company?
Yeah, that was on the Electric Company.
Ah, the Electric Company.
Whenever there's trouble.
No, sorry. No, it wasn't the Bloodhound Gang. It was MathNet.
Oh.
MathNet.
No,
Yeah,
that was the Square One.
Bloodhound Gang were the guys that did the song Discovery Channel.
Yeah.
That's a whole different thing.
But MathNet was like this Dragnet themed detective show where they had to use math to solve the crimes, and one of them was a Fibonacci sequence. It's something to do with the roses or whatever.
Right.
That was.
Was 3-year-old or was 3rd grade Dolio's mind blown?
I don't know if it was blown. I was intrigued. This is also the same 3rd grade Dolio who learned algebra from the Smurfs.
Yeah.
Yo, speaking of math, can we talk about Gödel's theorem? Because I just got hip to it.
I could talk about that for days. Kurt Gödel is the man. Hang out with that.
I love you guys so much.
All right,
Remind me what that is.
You know, and this ties into something I was just thinking about, which is apparently there was like a TikTok or something that went viral from some girl that was like doing her math homework and was like, but what is this? Like, who thought of this math stuff? Is this real, or is this just like something that like we're like making up, right? And like people made fun of her, like, oh, it's so stupid, you don't know that math is real. But and then like actual like mathematicians and philosophers had to chime in and be like, no, this actually is a question that we've been asking and studying for a couple hundred years. Is like, what makes math true? What makes it real? How do we know that? And there was a couple cats that decided they were going to try to prove that math is real and true, and they kept going around in circles trying to figure it out. One of them tried to write a proof that like 1 + 1 = 2, and it was like 300 pages long, because if you're trying to do it without making an assumption first, then you're like, because any assumption that you're going to make, it's like, well, how do you know that's true, right? So he decided to try
that 1 is 1.
Yeah, so he tried to use just set theory, which is just a basic concept, like things come in groups. So the group of, a group that, I forget what the definition was to make like a set that only, doesn't intersect with anything else, but only the thing that's in it is a 1 or something. But set theory turned out to have an Achilles heel. And a little problem was that you could create a paradox within it. And the paradox was this: if you have a set that contains itself, for example, sets that have 5 things, and then you put 5 things in it, then that set contains itself, because then it goes in it. But then there's 6 things, then you have a problem because it's going around in a circle. And the question of, does the set of all sets that contain themselves contain itself, starts going in a circle where if it does, it doesn't, and if it doesn't, it does, which meant that set theory had a pretty shaky foundation. But these guys, they were working on it. It was called positivism, and the idea was that like we should only believe something is true if you can prove it, right? And if you want to prove it, you need logical foundations that go from as few assumptions as possible. And so they tried to create mathematics from the smallest set of assumptions. They had to create a whole new like logical system with symbols and stuff to not be trying to let in any paradoxes like that. And they created this whole book called the Principia Mathematica, that defined these symbols and this whole logical construction so that you could prove that math is true without these paradoxes creeping in. And it took them years. And they were like, this is it, buddy, we got it. And then this motherfucker named Kurt Gödel shows up. And he's like, this is very interesting. Let me take a look at that. And he comes back to him and he's like, you guys have a little problem. And he proceeds to do this proof to show in their book how you could load up these symbols that they'd created to create basically the equivalent of the phrase, this sentence is false. And of course, if the sentence is false, then the sentence is true. Right? But if the true sentence is true, then it's false. Like it contradicts itself. And so
the thing is, like, that's not necessarily a contradiction. I mean, I'm in my programmer man state now.
Okay.
Because what the thing is like what you're describing is a conditional. And a conditional is going to be either true or false. But if the statement itself is that this thing is false, and that is true, then the conditional itself is true. But it's not necessarily about whether or not you're looking at the true or false. It's about what you do with that condition's outcome.
All right. Well, this wasn't coding. This was just the basic old, this is a lie. And if it's a lie, then you must be telling the truth. And then if that's the truth, you must be telling lies. So this whole project of positivism tumbled down like a house of cards. And in the process, what Gödel did in his proof was he was able to extrapolate and actually give a proof himself that no logical system that was complex enough to cover algebra and math and stuff would not have a contradiction in it that meant that you had to make some assumptions and it had to be incomplete. So no logical system can be sufficiently complex and complete. It's either somewhat incomplete or it's not that complex, which means essentially that there are things that are true that can't be proven.
That is true.
So just given that conditional that Dolio was talking about, in a sort of sense, like for computer mathematics, they're abiding by certain rules. So there has to be, you have to weigh on either side. And you can't really within programming dig into the more esoteric nature of this sentence is false, because you have to weigh either way, period.
Well, because it's mostly because all of it boils down to a 1 or a 0. So It's going to be a true or a false at some point. Just like that whole set theory where stuff got really inception as hell, where something has to utilize a subset of itself. There's several classes in various object-oriented languages that do that.
Yeah.
Especially when you're talking about enumerated classes. So what it is it's something that takes a parameter that is a subclass of itself. So it only takes other enums.
Okay.
I'm high as shit right now. I don't know what y'all talking about. I'm high as hell.
I got.
Now I'm twisted.
But the bottom line is that Kurt Gödel is that dude that after you've worked years on your life and you have this whole community trying to accomplish this one thing, shows up after you think you've accomplished it and been like, you know what, that's all wrong, and let me prove to you that doesn't work. With my brain.
So wait, because I got hip to Gödel, I'm starting to think like the nature in which we make conclusions sort of takes the shape of a fractal, because it's not going to end. We're not going to find any sort of ending truth. You just get more and more and more inside this shape. So what does that say about this trail of math we're on, and what could that say about other trails of maths?
Hold on, real quick.
And what's a conclusion that reaches to like an end of that fractal pattern?
Hold on for this word from our sponsor from Arson.
Wrench, what's this gentleman's name you're talking about?
Kurt Gödel.
Gödel.
Yeah.
Pharaoh, you keep saying Goebbels? That's a different dude.
That's not somebody we're into.
So
That's
a different dude.
I could have sworn he was
Nazi
saying
scientist.
Godel.
Whole different guy. Godel, Gobel.
Yeah,
Two
Gobel
different
is
people.
not.
Wait, is Gobel a Nazi?
Yes.
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 Yeah, okay.
Very much so.
But Godel
Yes.
was
He's
a
like top 5 Nazi.
Yeah.
and Godel was a Jew living in Austria, so he had to get the hell out of there because it was the 30s.
Yeah.
He ended up in Princeton hanging out with Einstein. And I love the fact that Godel would drag Einstein to Disney movies to watch. These two, like, guys just being friends. And Godel was totally into Disney movies.
Wow.
That's hilarious.
That
That's
is
so many layers.
Yeah. Here's a messed up thing, though. A mathematical logician a little bit later that kind of built on Godel stuff named Alan Turing, who helped win the Second World War by being able to decode the German code maker called the Enigma. He helped come up with a bunch of the logic that helps computers work the way they do. So he was very much into all of the mathematical logic and stuff. He also liked Disney movies a lot. And Kurt Gödel and Alan Turing, at the end of their lives, became extremely paranoid and also got weird about food. And Kurt Gödel thought people were trying to poison him. And so he stopped eating and died. And Alan Turing decided to poison an apple and eat it and go out that way, which is very Snow White. And so it was kind of this weird thing that both of them ended up going in this weird direction.
So is this saying that Walt Disney was an effective anti-Semite? That's awful.
It's pretty bad. In the case of Alan Turing, I got to say that the primary cause of him having major problems later in his life, which is really awful, was the fact that he was gay, meant that the British government was worried that would be used to blackmail him, because it was not accepted at the time, and he had these secrets from the war, as well as the fact that the British government was homophobic as well. And he was found out to be having an affair with a young man and was arrested for it and convicted of, I don't know what the term they had for it at the time. And he was sentenced to hormone treatments. And those totally messed with him and very much contributed to his depression, as well as the fact that he was being forced to do this because he was gay and couldn't see people that he wanted to see. So that was fucked up.
Here.
Sentenced to hormone treatments.
Yeah. Not cool.
Did he have
sentenced to somebody too?
Mm-hmm.
Did he have any sort of math revelations after the treatments?
I don't think so.
Mm.
There's a cool movie about Alan Turing called The Imitation Game. And
Imitation Game.
We'll check it out. Yeah, The Imitation Game. Very cool.
When did that come out?
A few years ago.
2000s?
Yeah, not too long ago. It's starring Benedict
Cumberbatch.
Yeah, I think I remember seeing trailers for that.
That's not the one where he has the cape, right?
Nope.
Okay.
Not the one where he has the time machine.
They should make an Alan Turing Doctor Strange crossover.
I just want to say I'm psyched about all the people in the Twitch right now, because I feel like we found the Twitch wheelhouse. We're just going down the abstract mathematical rabbit hole, and Twitch is here for it.
Yeah.
By the time y'all got on some nerd shit, come on.
We are nerding out for real tonight.
Right.
Any questions?
Let's talk about regular expressions. Let me stop.
No, of course the Twitch stream doesn't have any questions. They know exactly what everybody's talking about here.
Oh, by the way, you guys, I brought Gödel up because I am slowly going through math again, because I just found an old math book of mine, and I figured a good place to start is foundational stuff, why math, why this math, before I really get into it again. So Gödel was the first place I thought to go to. So where's next?
Fractions. No, but I'm like, I know that sounds like a joke, but that's actually, a big part of what's happening in math education in schools right now is that parents are, insisting that one kid gets skipped through a math level and the other parents are like, well, my kid's brilliant too. Skip my kid through that math level as well. And I'm not saying this happens everywhere, but it does. This was a big problem in Montgomery County. Pharaoh, you might have seen it firsthand. And
Yeah.
And so these kids were getting so many kids were getting skipped through levels of math that by the time they got to even the high performing kids, they would get to the big magnet math school and not be able to hack it in like pre-calculus because they didn't have the foundations from basic math. So the big thing was that kids kept getting skipped through third grade math, which is where you learn your fractions. And, you can do fractions on a calculator, sort of, but that doesn't help you understand the basis of fractions. Long division, same thing. You actually need to understand how that works in order to be operating in the higher order mathematics.
Yo, they don't.
I mean, especially you get the elementary differential equations. You don't have the luxury of using a calculator.
What I'm seeing, like with long division now, they don't use a little bar, John. The little, like, you put the number there and the little thing and you put it on top and all that kind of stuff. Like, they don't use that anymore. Bruh, I still do that now.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's how you learned it. You do it how you learned it. And that's why I'd like to put in a PSA for having an open mind. Because I know a lot of parents are having trouble with this when your kid is being taught some math in a different way than you learned it. And I see so many posts on social media of people being like, this is wrong. You got to do it the way I did it because it's faster if you do it this way. And in some cases, that's true. And in other cases, the other way works faster. I think kids should be taught a bunch of different ways to do it. And one thing that's been interesting for me, I have an 11-year-old and a 6-year-old. And I've looked at that, different kinds of ways that they're teaching the kids. And at first, it's completely weird and doesn't make sense because it's not the way I taught it. But it's been extremely gratifying to just sit back before just being like, no, that can't be right, and be like, okay, let me try to learn that. Let's see how this works, and do it, and being like, wow, that's like a different way that I never thought about this. Or in some cases, you know what? That's actually what my mind is doing in the background that helps me do that in my head. If I'm not doing it on paper, that's what I'm trying to do in my head. And if I had learned that as my primary way of doing it, I could probably do it faster in my head. So I start to see some of the reason behind these things by just going ahead and trying it out myself and learning it. So, everybody give things a chance to be a little different than the way you learned it.
How are they teaching division nowadays that's so different?
Except if they show up at your school with the supposed the patriotic education.
Oh yeah, then you shoot them.
Yeah.
The kids are the patriotic people.
No,
I'm all for optimization of math, but
all right. So the idea, there's an idea of teaching some of American history based off of the 1619 project that the New York Times was had started running stories about, so on and so forth. And so now 45 was like, no, we're gonna do a new education, John, and it's gonna be patriotic education. We're gonna call it the 1776 Commission, and we're gonna teach American history the right way. I'm like, bro.
Well, keep in mind, we're still talking about we still have Betsy DeVos as the Secretary of Education, so you should be able to rest easy knowing that nothing is going to happen.
Yeah, you're right. You're right about that.
They started doing the Daily Show. Start with doing with Derek Waters a drunk history with Trump. So it's like Trump history.
That seems drunk enough already.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's why they're doing it.
And then they elected a game show host as president.
Yeah.
I'm right back.
Yeah. But it's definitely, one of those things that sets off alarm bells for the president and the White House to be saying, we're going to create a specific educational curriculum, because something offended our sensibilities by talking about history. That's a big red flag right there. And the bottom line is history should teach as many things as possible, and leaving stuff out, especially significant stuff, is very much a problem. And it's been a problem. Like we've had patriotic education in a lot of this places in this country that really didn't talk about some of the aspects of slavery that are really horrific. Didn't talk about Reconstruction and some of the ways that after slavery was abolished, the vote was still kept from people, and people were still disenfranchised, and didn't teach about redlining, didn't teach about all kinds of things that I'm learning, many, many years later, that changes your whole conception of where we're coming from. And I don't think knowing more ever hurts.
Yeah,
so,
and there's a whole segment of our population who just assumed everybody knew that.
Mm-hmm.
And then when as it becomes more common knowledge, we're just like, wait, you guys didn't know about redlining? We knew about redlining.
Did not. Let me see. I learned about redlining in about 2007, I would say. So I was out of college and everything. It was.
I don't. When I came across
redlining, I learned a lot about it. A lot of this stuff from my parents and grandparents who went through the stuff.
Exactly.
They're like, yeah. And then I went to go fight in World War II, and I came back and they still treated me like a nigga.
Mm-hmm.
When I learned about redlining,
my country,
redlining, I just feel like when I heard about it, it seemed like, oh, okay, so that's what you call it.
Yeah.
Well, there were some were very specific programs as well from the government.
Yeah. I'm going through a book called I think it's called The Color Line right now on Audible. It's kind of boring, but it goes through it seems like it goes through most accounts of redlining in every state.
Yeah. So for anybody out there watching this right now who does not know much about redlining, you can do a Google search for Adam Ruins Everything Redlining, and that'll bring you to about a 6-minute video that does a pretty decent job of explaining how that all went down.
Also, do we have a guest tonight?
Maybe, but maybe not. It's looking like it's us hanging out tonight.
That's okay. That's all right. I mean, this has been a pretty fun conversation.
Yeah, we're rocking it tonight. I mean, we got to nerd out. Tonight is some nice nerd time for us and our fans who come to us really for talk about math and science.
Hardcore nerding.
Yeah.
For our book club. How many of the members of our book club are further along in This Is an Uprising?
Man, we haven't really gotten to that yet.
Yeah, tonight would have been a good night.
But everybody gets caught up.
We had a book club.
I've been
let me go ahead and grab the book.
I'm gonna ask you now. Does it have pictures? Because I stopped reading anything that's not comic books. I can't lie to you. I feel terrible about it, but I really have not read anything that's not a comic in months.
Okay, let's wait for the trade, because this would be a very good comic book.
This is an Uprising graphic novel. Okay.
Real quick, if we want to add to the book club a comic book to read as well, I know I got to read Buddha. I haven't read Buddha yet, and someone reminded me I haven't read it.
What?
Buddha? It's a graphic novel.
Oh.
You know what graphic novels are?
Is it like Siddhartha in the form of a graphic novel? Because that would be spectacular.
Yeah,
I bet there is. Is there not?
Probably.
Yeah, it is.
You know what graphic novels are though?
Comic books.
Comic books.
Yeah.
It's a comic book.
What do you so the history of hip hop is definitely a comic book, not a graphic novel, because it's not a novel.
Do I have that? I don't have the history.
Well, you talking about the Ed Piskor Johns?
Yeah.
It's come out in individual issues, and then they've put it all together. So
okay, so it's for sure a comic book, indisputably a comic book. But yeah, I was trying to describe it the other day, and I started to say graphic novel, and then I was like, no, because it's not a novel, it's not fiction. It's like a graphic history.
Oh, that's funny because I mean, graphic novel came from novel, but now it just means a long form comic book.
I'm sorry, I am too literal for that.
Yeah, I think people would still apply it to nonfiction, like March. People call March a graphic novel.
I don't know March.
Me neither.
That's John Lewis's John.
Yeah, John Lewis with a couple of people. It's awesome. You should read it.
It's real.
Oh, that one. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. I do know
Everybody out there, read March by John Lewis in graphic novel form. It's a great history of the civil rights stuff he did.
When John Lewis came to Philly in 2016, they did a signing of that at my store. Yo, the coolest dude in the world. Like,
I don't doubt it.
Too cool for the rest of us.
I bet.
Yeah, John Lewis was a G. He was a good dude.
Yeah, I met him when we linked up with the CBC.
Yeah, I saw a picture of him. He went to some con, and he like cosplayed exactly what he was wearing when he crossed the bridge.
Yeah. Yeah, that was dope.
This is cool.
That was pretty cool. I'm a big fan of this. I need to get more of them, but these history comic books, I had a couple up on the shelf right now. I'm slowly getting through this one.
Yeah, the history of Japan. Just that 13 years. The rest of it, fuck it.
I was trying to look at the most recent acquisition.
It was an intense 13 years. The Sawa era is that's a tough era for them. I think that's after or during a giant earthquake they had around that time.
This is what I've been reading. It's great.
Yeah, you've been reading that. This is what you're.
I'm sorry.
You read that
we had to put an album out. We've had stuff to do. My reading has taken a seat on the back burner. But actually, Farrah and I were talking about this the other night about how we both really want to read, but then we when we start to read or contemplate taking time to read, we feel like there's so much other stuff that we have to do. And it's a shame that like reading is feeling like it's this leisure activity that that we should cast aside if we have more important to do items, when in fact it's like so fundamental. Not to be cliche, but it is.
I do it as a sort of a way to clear the cache or add new tools to the hard drive.
Yeah, exactly.
What Avengers was that?
That was Civil War.
It'd be interesting to see if that gets like fuzzed out by the streaming services or something.
Why?
Oh yeah, I already showed you this book. I'm not going to show this on the stream.
Because it's called Civil War?
This is your friend's book?
Because it's copyrighted material.
Oh, yeah.
My most recent acquisition book-wise.
Your friend's book?
Huh?
Your fraternity brother's book?
No. That one was the one I showed you a while back.
No, the one that made Brian freak out.
Oh.
Yeah.
What is it?
I'm not showing that one on this stream, but it was a hard to acquire book. But
that one, yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Hold on.
Because it was because every time I tried to buy it, it was like $400, and I finally got it for like $35.
Yeah. Did you tell me you were going to send me the source on that?
Yeah, I forgot.
That's okay.
I will send you the source. I will just remind me. Send me a text, and I'll definitely do it.
Yes,
because if we just say it in the conversation, I will forget.
Thank you again, Nolly D.
Heck yeah.
Throwing a little money our way.
Oh, thank you.
Money.
Yep.
I'll take off one of my socks.
My most recent graphic novel acquisition was the trade of Black Sands.
Ooh, good stuff.
I bought it for my son, but you know, I kind of also bought it for me. But it's somewhere in here, but somewhere in the.
Yeah, I wanted to check that out. I wanted to see what they were doing with that art style in there.
It actually is pretty sick. It's pretty sick. They actually have an animated version. I think it's out now. I haven't checked it out.
Black Sands.
Black Sands.
By the way, that whole series reminds me of what's it called? The Disney Moses movie,
but more historically
Lines of
accurate.
Yeah.
Oh, like God,
yes,
where everybody was Scottish. You know, from the very little known Scottish North African region.
Mm-hmm.
There's actually a class of albinos that got really they took over for a bit.
Yo, I still got this though.
What?
Yeah.
Yes.
What is that?
That's
I'm not seeing
DMC's
it.
comic, dude.
Yeah.
Also autographed by DMC.
The only, quite honestly,
it's
the
tricky.
only day better than the day John Lewis was at the store was the day DMC was at the store.
Yeah.
I feel terrible about that, but
DMC has got some awesome stories, and he tells them well.
God, the stories this guy had, holy smokes!
And I was there fanboying out,
Hard.
festooned in all of my best Adidas. I had my kid with me too, and he was in a matching Adidas sweatsuit.
I heard DMC tell the story of how much he and Run did not want to do a collab with Aerosmith at the start because they didn't know. They actually didn't know Aerosmith. It was just Jam Master Jay created that track when they were doing Walk This Way.
Right.
He would play the beat at the start of the song and then loop it back, and backspin the beat so that he could keep that break beat going from the start of Walk This Way. They actually never heard the rest of the song. They made their thing of it. They would rap to it, and they just knew that beat. And Rick Rubin was producing, and he was like, "Well, we should use more of that song and like bring Aerosmith on." And they're like, "What are you talking about? There's a song there." So Rick Rubin like played the whole song for them, and they were like, "What is this like weird country guy like Southern thing going on here? This is not something we're gonna do." We had no idea that the rest of the song was like that, and so they headed out, and they were like, "Man, Rick Rubin's gonna make us do a collaboration with whoever these guys are. We don't know about this." So they stopped answering their phones, and they hung out in Hollis, Queens, just like chilling for a while. It's like trying not to answer their phones. So Rick Rubin got Jam Master Jay to call them with a script. So Jam Master Jay calls them. They're like, "Oh, it's Jay. Is Rick Rubin trying to have him? But maybe he's got something else." So they answer the phone for Jam Master Jay. They're like, "What is it?" Jam Master Jay is like, "Well, check this out. Me and Rick Rubin, we're here. We're in the studio with these guys from Aerosmith. And they are rocking this. And you don't want the story to be out that there was a collaboration and this rock band showed up ready to rock out, and Run DMC, was too chicken to do it. And so then they're like, how are we going to back out now? So they got him to come to the studio and actually be in the studio with Aerosmith and roll the tape. And then, Joe, the guitarist from Aerosmith, I'm blanking on his name, but, he rocked the solo, and Ron and DMC were like, "Oh, shoot, this is okay." They're just rocking it over this beat that Rick Rubin did, and we better step up and do this too. And they made it happen. So that's how Rick Rubin and Jam Master Jay convinced Ron and DMC to actually do the collaboration with Aerosmith by upping the ante.
It's wild because I came into hip hop as a DJ first before I started rapping. So to not really be into the rest of the record is beyond me for some reason. Because I'm a rapper that is like really into Chuck Mangione.
We need to get on that Chuck track.
And Chuck Mangione got some bangers.
We need to get on that Chuck track, dog.
Which one?
You know the one.
Isles of the Veiled Temptress. Oh.
Super Dave is coming through. The Aerosmith guitarist is Joe Perry.
Joe Perry, yeah.
Super Dave gets the points on that.
Yeah. There's a few joints. Actually, there's like a bunch of Chuck Mangione joints that are like bangers. And if he's down, I'd be down to jump on something.
Bro, can you imagine? See,
Chuck
Mangione. I can't. All I can do is John Cena. That's all. I can't help you with that. This is how you summon John Cena. You got to do this enough times in the mirror, and he disappears.
So if Chuck wants to do a track with Gangstagrass, I'll pick the horn back up.
Yo,
well, I've already picked the horn back up, but I'd have to jump on there with it.
Bruh, I say I think we could pull off a Chuck Mangione Yo-Yo Ma track. I think.
I've already talked to Yo-Yo Ma about
I think that would be bananas.
Have you talked to him about Gangstagrass since we knocked him out of the top spot on the Billboard Bluegrass chart?
No, I haven't. I haven't since we knocked him out of the top spot. I have not spoken to him.
I'm about to call him right now. Be like, "Yo, what's up, dog?" Oh, snap.
What?
Just call him. You thought?
Bruh, I'm trying to have Chuck Mangione and Yo-Yo Ma down at J Black Labs. Boom.
That would be bonkers.
Oh my God.
Right.
Oh,
of course we'd have to pig out on the pig out with no pork on the Jamaican food. On the Jamaican food.
Yeah.
Yeah, at this particular studio that we were talking about, there's a Jamaican spot directly across the street.
Why don't we just have a trough prepared of aki and saltfish?
I'm down with that. As long as there's plenty of dumplings.
Mm-hmm.
You guys,
maybe
you always make me so hungry on this stuff.
I baked a batch of those cookies today, Sleeves. The cookies I'm mentioning, the Barnstormers will be getting the recipe.
Yeah.
I have no name for them other than Dolio's cookies.
That's a good name.
Yep. They were so delicious. Great consistency. They'll last in a van for a few days, which is key.
So what now?
They'll last in a van for a few days, which is key. I mean, if you don't eat them all, they will.
Yeah.
They maintain their integrity quite nicely.
Yeah. And the recipe is actually for a nice sized batch of dough. So you can just keep the dough in the fridge and just make a bunch whenever you feel like.
Or just eat the dough if that's the kind of thing you do.
That's what I do.
Yeah.
Oops.
I got to come up with a different version of it for people with nut allergies. But
because there is, I believe you were telling us that there's part of the recipe where you have to continually dip your nuts into the batter, right?
No, that's a different.
I need a beep button, you guys. I need a beep button.
He's talking about dipping walnuts into the batter.
Right, of course.
Well, dough actually is technically not a batter.
You were thinking something different. Get your mind out of the gutter.
Yeah. Well,
I need a bleeper. Please join the Barnstormers and support Gangstagrass so that we can get a bleeper for our live stream.
Wait a minute. Actually, hold a second.
By the way, it's highly recommended, if you're not already a Barnstormer, that you go to gangstagrass.com/barnstormers. And we have a new promotional video up there that will help convince you that you should join for a very low monthly fee to become part of the most awesome club in the universe. Which, in fact, we're going to be sending out some new stuff to the Barnstormers.
That's right.
Very soon.
That's right.
A whole batch of behind-the-scenes goodies, unreleased stuff from the archives.
That's right. We already threw up just a couple days ago. We threw up there the document that has some of Gangstagrass's favorite mashups. So these aren't created by Gangstagrass, but they're some super fun third-party mashups of songs that you know.
Yeah,
there's a
so
whole
if you
list there.
wanna find out Gangstagrass's favorite mashups and get to check them out,
They're
you
hot.
gotta be a Barnstormer, and the lowest level is $4 a month. Easy peasy. And you get to be on
The
our.
highest level is $4 million.
That's optional. But encouraged, very encouraged.
Yes. Anybody thinking about supporting Gangstagrass with $4 million? You can just
You can call
Oh,
any
okay.
one of us at home in the middle of the night.
Yeah, if you have $4 million to give, you probably have people that can show up at our door, and we'll talk to you.
Let's make it happen, y'all.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll be your lifeline, a la Who Wants to Be a Millionaire.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on, let me see if this works.
That's a good choice. Dolio would be my lifeline.
I just remembered that I had that I was using my new sound mixing board for this Zoom, which means I can do this.
Thank you.
Yes. See, that's what we need.
We just went up in production value by 600%.
Did you guys feel that? Did you guys all feel like leveled up, like the sparkles all around you in a video game? I think I'm gonna add stats to my agility. I don't know what you guys are gonna do.
Oh, there's probably a way I can put sparkles on the. Stay tuned next week for once I've figured out how to put sparkles on the live stream, and we will have sparkling applause.
That'll be
Sparkling applause.
Sparkling applause. I keep hearing the Price is Right thing though. That's yeah.
Yo, has anybody made that a beat yet? I'm sure someone has.
Yes. Darn, I can't remember the name of the guy. Randy would know, because we used to actually play this in the ride on tour.
By the way, Parish Gus came up with a great name for Dolio's cookies. Dough Leos.
Oh.
You get points. Yeah, there we go.
Ding, ding.
We're not hosting a game show.
Yeah.
We have had some discussions about that.
Welcome to the Gangstagrass Gateway.
Yep. And now for our next category, is it the name of a Harry Potter house or a Pokemon?
Right.
Up and bring up if you know. Jigglypuff.
I know all my Pokemon.
No, Jigglypoof.
Ding ding ding.
Yes.
It's a Pokemon.
Okay. Next up, Hufflepuff.
Dolio's wearing yellow. He has to ring in on this one.
Yep.
I'm just operating the sounds.
Okay, all right. I'm ringing in on Dolio's behalf.
But it's a house. It's a house in
Yes. You guys correctly distinguished Jigglypoof from Hufflepuff. But seriously, the Harry Potter houses all sound like something that would be a Pokemon name.
I don't know, Ravenclaw, I guess. Guess. Okay,
Yeah,
Gryffindor,
totally
obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Slytherin, totally
okay.
a Pokemon name.
Sure.
Yeah.
Hey,
100%.
that song was called "My Flows Is Tight."
Yes, that's the song.
It was by oh goodness gracious.
Can we put that song up on the stream for everybody? Let's all listen to that
I'm
one.
gonna find it for you right now and put it in there. It's amazing, dude. And the hook is like right along to the
Lower
sample. So it's
digger.
like my flows is tight, my flows is tight. To my people all over the world, my flows is tight. Yo, it's so dope. It's so great.
Mm-hmm.
That was my joint. I had this kid.
Yeah, it was Lord Digger.
Lord Digger. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, my flows is tight. Such a good. Oh no! We used to run that all the time, man. What just happened?
There it is.
Yeah.
test me, son. There might be death behind current number one.
I forgot that's how it started, too.
And then they run to the border. Only to come on, they slaughter.
All right, I'm gonna have to introduce one to the mix show next week.
Yeah, man.
Yes, please.
Buffalo's the site was at work.
Which is a great reminder. Tomorrow at 3 p.m., we've got Wrench in the house, if I'm remembering correctly.
Oh boy! All right.
On the Twitch, Gangstagrass.tv.
That means I get to beat Dolio to it. I'm saying that one.
Wait. Actually, I would be like.
Oh boy. We're in for it. We're in for it, folks.
Oh, what was that?
Yeah, what was that?
Oh, sorry. That was my clipboard laying on my keyboard.
Oh, I was like, uh-oh. The black helicopters are coming in.
Yeah, that was, yeah.
As soon as you play that sound,
helicopters
helicopters
have been circling over for like the past few days. I mean, obviously there's been protests. But hey.
It's constant here and be more.
Yeah. Helicopters, helicopters. There's all kinds of stuff going on.
Helicopters.
Yeah.
Helicopter, a very good song by a band that I like. I forgot what they were called.
Oh, a band that I like is one of my favorites. Didn't they get nominated for a Grammy?
Yeah.
I believe a couple of those bands did.
I came across some early first or second grade writing work by my son that's older now, but it included a spelling of the word helicopters that was HLE COPRS. Helicopters. And I loved it. Never gonna forget that.
Pardon me, I had to go, man.
Solid
I have to
pass.
keep it.
I had to go get my milkshake.
One who cops HLEs.
Is it a coffee milkshake, Randy?
Actually, it's a mango coconut milkshake.
Oh.
Is it coconut scented?
With mango flame.
Yeah. You know that's burned into my brain. I don't know how many times I've listened to that. Coming up on one of my favorite rhymes on the album.
And another shout out to Dan, who, whenever I think about milkshakes now, I think about Dan.
Can we get the beep? Can we?
What?
Why?
That one's better not beef because it's about the innuendo.
Don't we all miss Dan Joe's milkshakes?
Yes.
I mean, he brings them
Banjo
all.
and milkshakes.
Yeah, and then the boys come to the yard, and I definitely miss the
Brings all the banjos to the yard.
Yeah, no, I mean, I miss everything about touring, going out after shows and getting milkshakes from random Sonics or what's the little cookout?
Oh, cookout, yeah.
Cookout, yeah.
And
You'd be wild in a cookout, son.
You do be wild in that cookout.
And there are some cookouts, at 1 a.m., 2 a.m., and it gets gritty in there, man.
And you wouldn't know from the outside because the windows are always completely steamed up, right? So somehow in all seasons, the windows of every cookout are completely steamed up at all times.
We did a couple during Americana Fest in Nashville. Yeah, there was one time in Nashville, we went to a cookout late at night, and there was some sort of rush with a bunch of college kids that stormed the place, and they had gotten so behind on orders that the place was full of people waiting for the orders, and the orders were coming out so fast or something that they were getting mixed up. And somebody from one of the cookout staff was just bringing out bags of food and setting it on a table in front of the counter. And being like, just go through this and find out which of it is your food and take that.
Can't do that in pandemic times.
That's how COVID started. That's exactly how COVID started.
That happened to me at Dame's. This place in North Carolina called Dame's Chicken and Waffles. Which, by the way, next time we in North Carolina, Ordered some grub, went to pick it up, sitting there chilling. They about to close. I'm like, yo, where's my food at? It was like, oh, we think somebody just walked off with that because they had the same thing. They had a table and they were like, yeah, we'll text you when it's. And I'm sitting there, strumming my fingers. And then they're like, yo, we'll see. What had happened was, I think somebody may have just walked out with your food. I was like, really? So, but they gave me the money back, gave me a little gift card and whatnot. So I'm like, all right, yo, Dame's Chicken and Waffles. Whew.
We're gonna get.
You know what? I had a really bad streak, and I don't know if this will still happen, but I feel like sometimes when I'm the most try to be my most polite to wait staff, and I get real friendly with them, like in a restaurant, they always forget my order. Like it just, I don't know how that happens. I try to be friendly, and then it's just, you feel something in the air, just like my order is not coming, nor is it being prepared right now. That's what it feels like. Ow!
I'm sorry.
You know, the sad thing is sometimes I've waited. I've just been like, you know what? I have faith. And then I was wrong. They never made my meal. And I had to take it to go.
They were distracted by your charm, Pharaoh.
Well, I say, if you stop being so. Look here.
Sexy sex man in the
chicken
house.
tenders and a order of fries, baby.
Dorothy, I cannot go back to that table. We'll fuck that man.
By the way, our son Miguel Miggy Miggs is in the chat.
Yes, he is.
Facebook.
Hey.
Cool, Miggy Miggs. Miggy Miggs, go back to Penn State. That's my dude. Very good friend of my brother's.
Cool.
My man.
Wait.
He actually came out to Charm City Fest. That was him
Nice.
at Charm City.
It was tough to tell who was at Charm City due to the fact that the audience was 7 people deep outside the tent, outside the completely packed tent. So, hard to keep track of all the people who were there.
Yeah, it was mad folks.
We were supposed to play Charm City Music Festival in April, and of course that did not happen. So we'll get back to that to play on a bigger stage because they booked us out a couple years ago, put Gangstagrass on a little side tent, and that was fun to completely blow out the side tent.
Definitely proved the point. The point was proven. This is not.
Yeah.
This is too small.
It's a point. It's a point we've proven at many a festival. It was like, no, do not put us on the side tent. It will not go good for whoever's on the main tent.
And also be real thoughtful about who you put after Gangstagrass.
Oh yes, it was that was especially true in one of our Philly shows, and I was like, but I like that band. I don't want to do that to them, but we have to because we're here.
Yep.
We're going to make him. We're going to rock this crowd until they're exhausted.
You know what? Yep. Somehow that reminded me of that Canada show.
Which
on the Bay, where we were on stage with that other band, that French Canadian band.
Yeah.
Yo, that turned out to work so.
That's great.
So
well. About the first one we did or the second one?
The second one.
That second one was amazing.
Was it the second one?
Amazing, yeah. It was the second one where we ended up with the jam. So apparently in Canada, to fill people in Canada, a lot of the festivals have things. What did they call them though? They have this word for it where they'll put 2 bands on the stage at the same time.
Such a good idea.
And it'll either go that this band plays a couple songs and then the other band plays a couple songs, then back to the other band plays, and that's fine. That's like default. But it often goes even better than that because the bands start jamming together and inviting each other onto each other's songs. And so we were all about that. And we ended up on a stage like closing night of this Canadian festival on the main stage. It's us and this other band. I wish I could remember the names right now because those guys were cool. And they played some songs, and we played some songs, and then we started playing on each other's songs. And what was it? We were looking at our set lists, and we were talking about how many
Union Duke. Danjo says it was Union Duke.
Union Duke. Those guys were awesome, and they brought a million instruments on stage with them because each of them played like 4 different instruments, and they would switch around. And so Arson was like, "Man, these guys brought so many instruments on stage. We got to try to buy some more instruments." And then I think Joe pointed out that I can play a piece of paper. So you see me do this, an ordinary piece of paper, and so he said, "Rich can play the piece of paper," and there's our set list sitting in front of us. So I grabbed the set list and I started playing the set list on the microphone. And the guy from the other guy's like, "I can play our set list," but their set list was in a binder. So he looks at the binder and he starts doing a rhythm to what I'm doing, and he's doing ba 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 ba. Somebody was like, "Well, that's Faith by George Michael." So they started playing Faith, just totally off the cuff. They're playing Faith by George Michael, and we start jamming on that and doing this made up on the spot cover of George Michael.
Nobody knows the lyrics, all the lyrics to
Nobody
Faith.
knew the lyrics,
but everybody loves
another
it.
guy, the guy that was like running the program with some of the youth, some of the youth bands that were there, he got up on stage and started singing the actual song of Faith. Dude, it was ridiculous.
It was a good jet. Oh my God, that was a special moment.
Mm-hmm.
That was a good time, man.
So Danjo also points out the festival's called those workshops for some reason. 2 bands on the same stage. It's called a workshop in Canada.
There was no work involved.
It's a great idea, and I look forward to being in more workshops as much as possible.
Yeah.
If that's work,
that was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Give me all of that work, please.
What bay was that? It was not Owens Bay. Was it Owens Bay?
I thought it was.
So, Migs is saying I was the only one wearing a Wu-Tang shirt at the Charm City Bluegrass Festival, and I feel like that might have been true in the crowd, but I feel like maybe not backstage. Like, I feel like there might have been a Wu-Tang shirt or 2 backstage.
Yeah, there were some hit folks backstage. I didn't hang enough at last Charm City. I need to hang on this next one. I did get to talk to the bassist from the Punch Brothers. He's a nice fella.
Well, the real issue with the last Charm City Bluegrass Festival was that they put Gangstagrass opposite the Seldom Seen, and that was a devastating and terrible thing for me personally, and also for the Seldom Seen.
Yeah,
their crowd was not as thick as it should have been.
I would have been in their crowd. It would have been my first time seeing them live, and I've been wanting to see them for a long time. I don't have too many straight bluegrass albums, but I have a couple of Seldom Seen albums.
Oh yeah, I mean Live from the Cellar Door, man.
I don't have that one.
Again. Seldomly.
My dad, when he first told me about that, was saying, he hadn't seen them as many times as he would like to because they're legitimately seldom seen. That's no joke. Yeah.
Yeah, the records aren't super common either. In fact, I wonder if I still got one.
I just realized another thing.
What?
The soundboard is also where I have all my turntables plugged into. But that's for another show.
Go on.
All your turntables?
All my turntables. Well, not all of them. Just these 2.
So wait,
you can be like scratching and playing.
I mean, there's gonna be a lot more sounds and stuff on the show. You going full DJ Clue?
Yeah, explosions.
Slow.
Of course, I'd have to hit him with the monkey.
Yes.
The monkey knife fight sound.
You gotta hit him with the monkey knife fight sound.
Where can people find the Monkey Knife Fights album? Let's plug that.
Mentaladvisory.com.
All right, so Mental Advisory is a crew run by Dolio the Sleuth, involving many of us and some other awesome MCs. And he released a Mental Advisory album called Monkey Knife Fights.
Yeah, Monkey Knife Fights and a Fistful of Pancakes. It's actually part of a series. The next one is Monkey Knife Fights and the Angry Breast Milk.
Right.
There you go, Danjo.
Again, you do have to say the full name.
Yeah.
Yeah, that we don't know what you're talking about.
Because just Angry Breast Milk doesn't make any sense.
Right.
But Monkey Knife Fights and the Angry Breast Milk.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But Monkey Knife Fights and the Fistful of Pancakes has 4 members of Gangstagrass on it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Including a Danjo doing a guitar track that was recorded while driving down the highway in the tour van.
Yes, somewhere in Indiana.
Yeah, man.
And it has a dope verse by Wrench.
Mm-hmm.
Laying it down, dropping hot bars.
I was ready to scrap my verse on that. I swear to God, I was.
He sent me, I was like mixing down the whole album, and then I get this email from Wrench, and he's like, yo, here's my verse. I was like, whoa, what? And I was like, oh, snap.
And I didn't hear it till it was done.
Yeah,
I was like, yeah, bro, heat on this. We murdered
did
this.
not hear it till the whole album was mixed down, and he was like, what?
It took me a second. I was like, wait, is that Rich?
Well, you know what?
I kept telling Rand that when I met Wrench, he was a rapper.
Yo, he put pure, just absolute fire on that joint, man.
Yes.
Send us a track from the new one in development, and we'll see what happens.
Oh yeah.
By the way, wasn't Adriel on that too?
No.
Adriel wasn't on there?
No, he wasn't. We started dabbling on this other project, the Molasses Brothers.
Mm-hmm.
The affiliation of which you now belong to.
Yes.
But we don't rest assured we will get Adriel on Molasses.
Yeah, that's not dead. That is not dead.
That is not dead.
Nope. Shout out to Adriel. Yo, you see his baby?
Yes.
Yeah.
He has a little cutie pie.
Also see him over there becoming a Japanese model.
Yeah, right.
He's becoming.
I think he's officially samurai now too. I'm not sure.
He's official. He's got campaigns running right now.
Yeah, which is amazing, dude. Shout out to Adriel. I miss that dude. It was a wild ball.
Yeah, first time I ever saw anybody use a wah pedal with a violin.
Bruh.
Some psychedelic violin fiddling going on.
So unfortunately, I now hear wah pedal as wop pedal.
Oh, dear God.
Somebody has to make this
for his WAF, his wet ass fiddle.
Where you can increase the wetness by moving the pedal around. I put a couple knobs on it for squishiness.
I'm sorry, I can't hear the word knob without thinking of the British meaning.
Yeah.
Indeed.
I'm not going to be able to get the phrase wet ass fiddle out of my head.
Wet ass fiddle.
Adjust the slurpiness.
Yo, that's why I picked this one up. It was just looking wet.
It does kind of though. It's got that wet look.
Well, it does have the shimmer in the finish.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been dedicating a little relaxation time after my work day just to make sure that I give it some attention.
I can't.
Yes, we are doing phrasing, which is why I said
so much phrasing.
Yeah. We've covered a lot of topics tonight. It's been
yes, we have.
Educational for everybody.
For those who just joined, you're going to have to roll it back to see the abstract mathematical discussion, the extended abstract mathematical discussion.
Yeah.
Fibonacci.
Programming nerds, we actually had a short discussion about enumerated classes.
Indeed. Enum. Yes. Yes, we did.
So-
We covered comic books and graphic novels and the difference or not there between.
Ain't no different.
We talked
You heard it here
about
first.
John Lewis and DMC at a book signing telling stories. Or rather, John Lewis being cool and DMC telling stories.
Oh, John Lewis had stories, bro. Yo, John had the whole spot in tears.
I come corrected.
Yeah, it was wonderful.
Yeah.
Here, here. And everybody remember, register to vote if you haven't already. The deadlines are coming up to register in order to be able to vote in the November general election.
Get some information and help remind your friends to vote. Join our team, the Gangstagrass team, for getting out the vote by texting 97779 with the message G the vote. Text G the vote to 97779 to join our voting team. We're doing that in partnership with Oxfam, and it's going to be great.
That's right.
Yeah, right now. Do it. Do it.
And we'll be
Please
back
make sure
again.
you vote, folks.
Yeah, we'll be back again on Friday night with another special guest. We got the DJ set playing some funky stuff tomorrow at 3 to tune in on the Twitch, or go to gangstagrass.tv to get over to the Twitch stream for free.
That's right. And Tuesday at 9, I believe we have my favorite rappers with our son, the voice of reason.
Yeah.
Yep, gangstagrass.tv.
A lot more chances to tune in and hang out with folks from Gangstagrass.
That's right. And we'll throw that link into the chat one more time for folks who want to go ahead and vote love on Ride With You.
Yes, everybody go over to this link in the chat and vote for love on Ride With You to help us win this thing.
And then watch the video again and help us get it over 1 million views. And then if you don't have it yet, go buy the album. Get somebody you know to buy the album. Just put the album on stream and leave your house for a month and just keep it. Yeah, I mean, this whole number one thing is going through my head, and I want to stay there for at least 37 weeks.
Yep.
37.
And Neil.
We couldn't have gotten there without you, y'all.
Yep. Shout out to Neil Herseg, the tattoo artist of doom, throwing a couple bucks our way and says if we're ever in Granger, Indiana, we can stop in for a tattoo.
Oh.
Neil, I'm going to take you up on that. Granger, Indiana. I'm looking up your stuff now.
Yeah.
I am tattooless
Shout out to my
currently.
man, Captain Kurt. That's my go-to guy, man. I miss the heck out of him and everybody down in Winchester.
Winchester family.
I'm still coming to see you for my 2 new ones, man. So get your stuff out of storage. We're getting it in.
Winchester, man, Sweet Nola's been thinking about that gumbo a lot lately.
Yep.
Bro, I'd smack
Yeah.
The roast beef po' boys. Lord Jesus.
Anybody down there in Virginia, got to go through Winchester, Virginia, and get some food at Sweet Nola's because it is truly made out of love.
By the way,
They're
Virginia,
some of the sweetest people I've ever met, y'all. They're great.
if I may, Virginia, I've been driving up and down 95 a lot. You know how the cities got the signs up on the Jones, they have little messages and whatnot. Virginia, your own state was telling y'all to drive faster. It said, don't be a left lane loafer. And then what the other one say? Oh, goodness gracious. Oh, it said, come camping in Virginia state parks, not in the left lane.
Yo, I'm not saying Virginia drivers don't do that, but Maryland needs that way more than Virginia does.
Yo, when the Department of Transportation is telling you to drive faster.
Yeah.
I was
No,
crying.
Maryland drivers, that was part of the reason why it was so dangerous for George Washington to cross the Delaware. Maryland drivers are crazy. Bad driving.
And Lewis and Clark kept getting run off the road in Tennessee.
Yep.
Right? Tennessee drivers are
story.
aggressive.
If we take a little bit of that Tennessee and merge it with a little bit of that Virginia, I think we might be able to maybe work it out.
We could find either a happy medium or a terrifying alternative.
Or just a nightmare.
Yes.
I have this idea that hell for me is driving on highway in Virginia, and then every time I get off the exit, I'm right in North Philly, and then the only way to get out of there is to get back on the highway in Virginia. That's it. That's where I'm stuck.
Yeah, y'all talk about those places, but the scariest moments of my life have been on the freeways in Chicago. Like, I don't know if they don't ticket for speeding or if speeding's just okay, but like, this flow of traffic sometimes is like 90, and I'm just
I'm good with that.
You're right.
I mean-
Rand has no problem with that at all.
Bro, that's easy. That's life right there.
I don't know. It's kind of hard to take an exit going 90.
Yeah, but I've seen it. I've seen it done. And I was like, oh, did he? Oh, wow. Thank you, sir. Well done. Apparently, like, I guess he was a stunt driver and was late for something and was far left lane. It was like 5 lanes off the jump. I was like, you just did that.
Oh.
Well done, sir.
The
Well
the Facebook net chat is now people just shouting out states with terrible drivers.
You're all correct. Everyone is completely
Idaho votes
correct.
for Florida.
Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
You know,
Actually, my mom sent me a photo the other day from like around Culpeper, Virginia, that said, if you see a tractor, slow down. So that's the Idaho thing. Oh yeah. Oh, the mass holes, Suze. No joke. As you know, we've all driven all around the country, and I personally feel that while Maryland drivers are terrible and not very well educated in how to drive, and I'm from Maryland, I can say that, but the mass holes are the absolute worst. It's just, and it's combined with having no signs on the road. I wish Dolio were here for this conversation, because the key in Massachusetts, like, I was there and I was looking for signs everywhere, and the only single sign I saw the entire time I was there was a sign that said Harvard Square, no Harvard Square.
That's it. Figure out the rest of yourself. You'll figure it out.
Yep. Yes.
Well, has everybody made it over to sohh.com, the link in the chat, and voted on Love for Ride With You? If not, get over there and
Yep.
help with,
In this case, it actually is okay to vote multiple times. Please don't do that in your elections, but do make sure your ballot arrives, and also vote Love for Ride With You as many times as you darn well please.
Please and thank you.
Well, and thank you for providing the accompanying background music there, Pharaoh.
Hey, I'm getting tired, y'all. I'm playing you off like the Oscars.
it is time for me to go and work on some new material stuff that we're working up, and some projects we got going on here in the studio. And make sure you're signed up on the Barnstormers to see some behind the scenes stuff. But I'm gonna go behind the scenes right now and start doing some production.
All right, y'all. We've had ourselves a real good time.
Mm-hmm.
Talked about math and really dope rhymes.
Thank you, everybody.
Made ourselves around.
Yeah.
Now we're coming down.
Yep. Keep tuning in. Keep spreading the word. Keep watching Ride With You on YouTube. Get all your voting stuff together. We are Gangstagrass. This has been fun, and we'll see you out there, everybody.
Good night. Tomorrow at
Peace.
3, gangstagrass.tv.